Friday. More like Fry-yay. Hashtag Fun Friday Show, David. Are you ready?
That's a good one. Hashtag Fun Friday, man.
These everywhere!
It feels like there should be a game tonight, but there's a game tomorrow night. Doug, not tonight. Don't go down there tonight. I don't know what's going on.
And tonight. No, there is a game tonight. Why are you trying to spread this misinformation?
Oh,
yes, there's a game against the Chicago Bulls.
Ah, that's right. I see it here. That's what happens when you're up at 3 a.m. Your 2-year-old. I don't know what day
you're
it is.
Fake news.
Are you sure it's Friday?
I got one guy. Sure it's Friday? I got one guy that's spreading fake news. I got this other guy, Steve Bob, who is always late.
Well, there's been so much attention paid to the Star Wars night. I totally skipped over the Bulls game. Let's hope the Hornets don't.
In honor of, they skipped over the last one, so let's hope they don't skip over this one. I'm wearing, in honor of Star Wars night, I'm wearing this is the closest thing I have to a Jedi robe. With the hood on. It's a very deep hood.
Evil Doug.
This is my Obi-Wan robe. What does it look like?
It does look like one. It's very close to a Padawan training robe. I guess you have to be, I'm not familiar with the garb and what level of Jedi you have to get your black robe, but it's pretty high, I would assume.
Let's recap draft.com, our challenges that we did. I know the people are desperate to know how we did. So in the first challenge, David, it was you and I going head to head. We were going to do Hornets versus Warriors in honor of the game, but you immediately broke the rules. Threw that out the window. Can't do one thing. Can't have one nice thing. And then you went on to crush me. Then you went on to win the game. So listen, that kids, cheating wins. If you're listening with your kids, just let them know.
Thanks to Boogie Cousins for 40 points and 20 rebounds in that one. That helped. I think he was on my team. He was my first pick, so
78 points. That was going to be tough for me to overcome. Andre Drummond, 59. LeBron James, 66.7. It's amazing what LeBron is doing right now.
He's good.
15, competing for an MVP. I mean, come on.
That's the craziest thing. He's still the best player in the league.
And I think, that's not the crazy thing, David. The crazy thing is, he'll probably be next year too. That's, to me, it's becoming the one argument I can buy on him over Michael Jordan. The longevity of his MVP contests.
I'm not in the mood to have that conversation.
Okay, let's start this show.
You are Locked On Hornets, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
In a minute, cuz we live.
All right, this is Locked On Hornets, your daily podcast on the Charlotte Hornets and the NBA. We are part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Search your podcast app for Locked On to get podcast on the NBA, the NFL, and fantasy sports. I'm Doug Branson, joined by my good friend, my colleague, the one, the only, David Walker.
Yeah, Doug. Fun Friday, baby. And there's a game tonight. Somebody was like, there's no game until Saturday. That's not correct. There's totally a game tonight and tomorrow night.
Don't listen to whoever said that. Also, you want to follow us on Instagram at Locked On Hornets and like the post that, David, have you put the post up yet?
No, it'll go up immediately after we record this show.
Okay, immediately after the show, like the post. You'll know which post it is because we're giving away 2 tickets to the game on Saturday, Star Wars night against the Los Angeles Lakers. And we're also giving away a Star Wars, a Frank Kaminsky Stormtrooper, a bobblehead. David, this is a really cool giveaway.
Everybody's hyped for the bobblehead. When the bobblehead came out, I thought Frank may make a good Yoda, but he fits into that Stormtrooper. Okay, so yeah, that's a hot item. I think a lot of Christmas lists might have that on it.
Yeah, it's the Lakers. You get to see the Hornets, Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, who hit a big shot last night against the Philadelphia 76ers.
Whoa.
Hey, who we got? Who we got coming in the studio?
Watch out.
Hey, Steve, Steve Bob's in
Hey,
the studio.
Steven.
Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you run down to the front door? Actually, our Frank Kaminsky's bobblehead is awaiting us. It's being delivered. So I want to show this to you. All right, Steve Bob is going to go get that. I got to tell this person who's waiting that David talked for me.
UPS guy waiting?
Yeah.
Or special delivery guy? Or the Hornets give you a courier, your own special courier?
Courier.
Or U.S. mail? Oh, courier. Okay. Wow.
Okay. Do we have any sponsors for this show? Let's talk about, well, we talked about draft.com. We've got our friends Discovering CLT. Follow them on Instagram as well. We're going to be doing a giveaway with them coming up for the Portland Trailblazers game. And you can get double entries into all of our giveaways by going to patreon.com/LOH and signing up. Subscribe to us there, and you can support local Hornets talk, and you get double entries to our giveaways. You get ad-free episodes. Really great stuff. This is a hashtag Fun Friday.
Bees everywhere!
Whew. But we got to start with something not so fun, David. It's never fun to talk about injuries, but we must talk about it. All right. First of all, both of these injuries happened in their last game against the Golden State Warriors. Cody Zeller has been announced out indefinitely with a torn meniscus in his left knee. Tonight it will be his 54th regular season game missed over 3+ seasons. Tough news there for Cody Zeller.
That's crazy.
The injury bug keeps biting him.
Yeah, someone call that injury plague, Doug. But it's unfortunate. It's weird that play went down like that, because I don't know if you went back and watched the broadcast of the game, but they were actually laughing at him a little bit. Like they didn't realize he was actually hurt, because he went down, the play went on, and then he looked like he was cherry picking a little bit, got back up, threw down a monster.
He was limping.
Yeah, threw down a Zeller dunk, and they're like, oh my gosh, miraculously no, he's really hurt. He's definitely very much hurt.
And
so
people are confused by that. They're saying, how could he have torn his meniscus? First, it's a tough play. Yes, there's a lot of pain involved, a lot of adrenaline involved too, but how could he dunk with a torn meniscus?
I do it all the time, guys.
Well, you know what's funny? My dad, we took a vacation to Daytona Beach, Florida several years back. Party times with the pops.
Air hole, bro.
Yeah. But he tore his meniscus in the ocean he flipped it, or he flipped the little kneecap, he flipped it around, tore his meniscus, and drove us back home on the torn meniscus.
That's because he's a dad, and that's what we do.
Dad's rule, man. Yeah. Dad's rule. Okay, so Cody Zeller.
How long was he out?
Dad was sidelined for a few months but this is key. Okay, this leads me right into what I was going to say next. So Cody Zeller is exploring treatment options. A lot of this is going to depend on severity, which we don't know. Sometimes you see the meniscus repaired, which is what happened to Pops, and that could be months, because you're talking about like weeks of recovery and then weeks of rehab and then weeks of pain management. There's a lot involved there. But then sometimes we see this a lot with guys in the NBA. If the tear happens on the outside of the meniscus, so the meniscus, there's layers to the meniscus. If it happens outside, on that outside layer, they get it shaved off. They get it removed. And I believe, I don't want to say this for 100%. You're not on camera yet. You're not on camera yet. Oh, multiple. Look at get on camera. Do your dance on the camera. There you go. All right, Steve Bob dancing with the Frank Kaminsky bobbleheads.
That's Steve Bobblehead today in honor of the.
Well, take here. So we'll give away one in the box.
Yeah, one's
because
for me.
Collectors take one of them out, because I want to see what this thing looks like and feels like. Back to what I was saying. Cody Zeller could have this thing shaved off, and then we're talking weeks. It's a shorter process. So evaluating treatment options, we don't know a lot right now, but I just wanted to say that those are two options.
First of all, let me just jump in here.
Yeah.
Am I on mic?
I'm being a total injury nerd right here, so please save the show.
Oh, well, please don't let me derail Fun Friday. And Doug texted me yesterday. Fun Friday, we're doing injuries.
The meniscus is connected to the
Yep, it's connected to something. All right. I just thought I'd interrupt you because we got a hot unboxing.
Oh, this is like a YouTube unboxing video.
All right, as you can see, that's
David's got his hood up. Its hood's up. It's
Friday.
Hoods up,
This is
dudes up.
Jedi Robe Friday.
Well, a lot of the top athletes like myself
all
and
doing
David
it.
are
Can
doing
you
this
take this thing
on
out?
the bench. Hold on. Wow, real bossy today. Hey, go get the bobblehead. Unbox it. Don't talk about it. All right, we have a styrofoam encasing, not too dissimilar to the carbonite encasing that you would see Han Solo with. Spoiler alert.
R.I.P.
And ooh, look at that. There we go. What are we thinking, Dave?
It looks like Frank.
Am I on?
Where
the
did it
mic?
go? Oh, I see it.
You're on
Oh, you just can't hear?
No, I can't hear anything.
because of the hood.
Yeah, take your hood off. All right, let me look at this thing. All right, Frank Kaminsky. Yeah, you got to plug it in, man. Come on. We got a couple of rookies here. I got David spreading fake news. I've got Steve Bob not plugging in his headphones. This is a professional show we're trying to run here.
Hey, I've got a hot hood take when you guys are ready, but go ahead and talk about the Star Wars figurine.
Well, it's great. I mean, it does resemble Frank Kaminsky. I think that's a plus. Not all of these bobbleheads manage to do that. He's got it appears to be an E11 next to him for the Star Wars fans out there. I believe that's an E11. And are we gonna talk about the fact that Frank Kaminsky is in a Stormtrooper outfit? And for all the Star Wars fans out there, what is the one thing that Stormtroopers are known for?
Loyal to a fault. So I think the answer,
No.
Raised to fight. Raised to fight.
raised to fight.
No.
Generally evil, but sort of just going
No.
with the plan.
No.
They're
They don't relax
They
much.
can't shoot. That's the one thing that Stormtroopers are known for.
little mean there.
I feel like they should have maybe put him in a Jedi robe.
I feel like your black hood is taking over your aura this morning. And
Yeah.
just really,
This is
negative.
real.
If you ask any Star Wars fan, what is the Stormtrooper known for?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and ask any Star Wars fan what a Stormtrooper is.
That's it. You're really...
Nah, you
I
know
see
what?
what
That's a good observation, though. That was funny.
Yeah.
That's a good observation. And also, why? Just why? Why is this thing? Why is this thing?
Why? Yeah.
Why is it? I get Disney probably paid for it, but it's just weird. Why can't we get a Doug in a Stormtrooper for all the Dougaholics?
Listen, bobbleheads are expensive to produce. We're getting T-shirts out there right now. That's step one.
Are the Hornets the only team with a Star Wars tie-in?
No.
Why
Multiple
wouldn't
teams are doing
the
it.
Magic would have to have it, right? They
I would
got
think the
Disney.
Magic. They probably got Vader.
Probably.
People on the chat already saying they can't shoot. I mean, I'm getting it over and over again. So people
I'm
on
not
this,
familiar with that.
I can't believe you guys didn't get that. All right, so Frank Kaminsky also on this injury news segment because he has a right ankle sprain. He's out tonight versus the Bulls. So let's say, for the sake of argument, Cody Zeller is out for a while, and Frank Kaminsky's out for a few games. I mean, what does that do to this Hornets roster, David? I mean, how much trouble are they in without these two bench bigs?
Yeah, especially Frank, I think. I mean, Cody's obviously important, but when Frank is consistent, it helps them with their bench scoring, obviously, and it helps them win games. So they're going to have to find other ways to create some of that offense. I mean, Trevion Graham has been good. You don't really necessarily look at him as an instant offense type of guy. He did play well in that defensive stretch against the Warriors the other night. Man, I think do all roads lead to Monk, guys, here? I mean, I don't know. We just keep going back to that. Maybe not, but with guys going down, minutes are opening up somewhere, so they may shift a few guys down.
Well, yeah, if you're just tuning in to the Hornets, you've taken a couple weeks off, just getting involved for this home and home that they're about to do, and want to get involved for Star Wars night. Let me just let you know that the Hornets haven't really been able to get their offense and defense on the same page game to game, right? I mean, either their offense is playing really well like it did against Toronto, or like it did against Chicago in Chicago, and their defense fails them, or you saw their defense step up against Golden State, but they couldn't produce any offense in that first half. So, and that's the issue with their backup point guard situation as well, because you've got Michael Carter-Williams, who gives them a lot defensively, a lot of ball pressure, a lot of steals, turning defense into offense sometimes, but has an inability to make easy layups, can't really make a shot right now. Whew. And then you've got Monk, who's a little bit inconsistent on offense, but certainly has an ability to knock down three-point shots, which is something the Hornets can't do right now, but is seriously debilitating on the defensive end. And teams know it, and teams attack him. And teams know that Michael Carter-Williams is struggling offensively, and it allows them to play off of him, which hurts the other play. I mean, Jeremy Lamb right now is shooting 25% from three since going to the bench. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that's correlated because he's one of the few players that has been consistently knocking down three-point shots on that second unit, and defenses are compensating.
Yeah, dude, that's what it is. The team, it's just really frustrating to be a fan of this team for so long and to see them trying so hard to stick to that status quo. I'll give you a different movie than Star Wars. They're the end of Titanic. They're Leo hanging on to that piece of wood, like halfway in the water. It's like, just die or crawl on the thing. And by that, I mean, like, I'd rather watch this team be really bad and have Monk just play minutes and watch guys blow by him and let him learn, because in the past, I haven't seen a lot of these guys, coming, like Frank Kaminsky sitting on the bench for a whole year and Cody sitting on the bench for a whole year. This thing that Clifford does, supposedly these guys are getting reps and practice and stuff, but they don't come in like ready to go. And those are guys that came into the league older anyways. Like, just let Malik get out there and run around. Like, we've seen him catch fire. We've seen him do good, but also I think you got to give him those reps. So I'd rather just see us be bad at this point.
The Hornets want to get on the door, though. The Hornets want to rescue this season.
But they're still going to have hypothermia. This is my point. Like, what's the best case scenario at this point? Seriously, like, 7th seed? Do you think?
I don't know. I mean, the whole East is such a mishmash right now between like 4 to 10. I mean, nothing's out of the question. Anything could happen, but the way they're trending is certainly not positive. And Frank and Cody did play some as rookies, certainly probably the most playable rookies that Clifford has had. And we've had that discussion before, but you just look at these two guys. I mean, they're playing the 7th and 8th most minutes per game on this team. That's a big chunk of that second unit. And then, if you're just going like position by position, are you putting Johnny O'Brien in there 20 minutes a game?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. We got
they're going to have to, David. And this, I think all of this ties in together, the Monk discussion that we're having and the injuries discussion that we're having, because the Hornets went into this season a little cash-strapped, right? They couldn't make some of the moves in free agency that they would have made otherwise because they invested a lot of money into the core of Kemba Walker, Nick Batum, Marvin Williams, and Cody Zeller, right? And a lot of the talk was about how they went into this draft needing to pick up some bodies that could play minutes for them, that they could plug in, because they were a couple injuries away from having to play some fringe G League type talent. And the fact is, they drafted two guys in Dwayne Bacon and Malik Monk, who I believe are going to be very good NBA players at some point, but they're not necessarily players that are ready to play in the NBA right at this moment for more than 20 minutes a game.
In this situation.
Very true.
Because I think Malik Monk in a different situation where he's just a catch and shoot. That's all you got to worry about doing. Don't worry about.
But dude, Devin Booker was the youngest guy in the league for 2 years,
and all they asked him to do was score, though.
And they were bad, and it was fun to watch the Suns. Like, it's fun to watch a dude score 70 points.
I would argue against that,
dude. I would give up the last 5 years of Hornets basketball to watch Kemba Walker score 70 points once. I'm not joking. Like, I don't want to see Michael Carter-Williams.
That's a fringe opinion.
No one wants to see that. No one wants to see that.
Yeah, and dude, but like, where's this team going 2 years from now? You got a year of Dwight left. He's old as crap. You got Kemba Walker is going to be on a max deal, and then you got Batum and Walker are your max guys. I mean, you guys want to watch a 7th seed team? Like, we still don't even make the playoffs every year. Like, that's not that. How many times have we made the playoffs? We've never won a series.
We got Steve Bob, WFAN caller.
I mean,
Call
dude,
you on the line.
I'm giving you informed opinions, my dude. I came in here on Wednesday, and you guys shot me down on Wednesday too, and I told you the Kevin Durant take that he was going to blow up. He made his first 8 field goals. He had a triple double. I'm giving you informed.
Did we put that opinion down?
Yeah, you said
that Kevin Durant wasn't going to play well.
Well, you gave me a derisive hot take. You're like, oh, that hot take. I'm like, yeah, well, I nailed it.
Because it wasn't a hot take. It's saying that Kevin Durant is going to play well is not a hot take.
Nobody else said it. You
drafted him. Did I draft him on my team? I think.
No, I think I did. Okay.
No, but Steve, I mean, I think, and Doug, I think that's a valid argument to have at some point along the way. Certainly, if things keep going the way they are, because the makeup of this team is such that they're going to have to decide at some point if they want to keep going until this thing just putters out, or if they want to make drastic changes. Right? Like, we don't know what's going on with Clifford. We don't know what's going on with really where this team's going to move forward after this year. I mean, the way it's going, I think Steve's right. Like, best case, it's going to be tough for them to get up above 5-6, so that's where they are right now, unless they just had a fire sale and got rid of everybody minus Kemba, or put everybody on the market. I don't know what change that's going to make this year. So I mean, I hear your frustration, Steve. I think everybody is. You're tired of watching kind of the same middling stuff, especially as the year gets going.
You are listening to the Locked On Hornets podcast.
Kemba is out. LeBron got kicked out. Wade is old. Pop is a genius.
Don't give up on social media, Doug. You just got to be social.
Oh, that's real nice.
Get more Hornets analysis on LockedOnHornets.com.
A reminder to everyone, we're giving away 2 tickets to tomorrow night's game against the Los Angeles Lakers. It's Star Wars night, Frank Stormtrooper bobblehead night. The first 7,500 fans in the door gets one of these bad boys, these Frank Stormtrooper bobbleheads. Here's what you have to do. Follow us on Instagram at Locked On Hornets. Like the post that we will put up right after this show airs on YouTube, youtube.com/Locked On Hornets, and we will pick a winner later today. Again, follow us on Instagram, like the contest post, and we will pick a winner later today. And some of our Patreon subscribers are getting double entries into our contest. If you want to increase your odds at a win, head over to patreon.com/LOH. There's a link in the show notes. You can get access to interviews and episodes early, ad-free episodes, and much more. Patreon.com/LOH. It's Hornets fashion time, David's favorite time of the show. We have some news on the uniform front. A new YouTube video out from Koisky Media. This was part of a production called Royal Key, or maybe the person was nicknamed Royal Key. I'm not sure. I'm not really hip to this whole. Oh, the background just went out on the show. That's how this show's getting heated. It's heating up my Apple TV. Okay, Hornets in this video. Hornets equipment manager Jason Rivera, who seems to give some pretty huge hints about what we can expect out of the 5th jersey at the end of the month, and something for next year as well.
So this right here, this is my uniform. Us Hornets this year, we have 5 different uniforms. Up here you'll see 4. They're in the midst of making the black ones. We start wearing them at the end of December. We brought these back this year. Next year we're gonna have a white one.
All right, so there you go. That was Jason Rivera, equipment manager for the Charlotte Hornets, on this YouTube video by Koisky Media. There's been no official announcement from the Hornets about what that 5th jersey is, David. We've speculated a lot that it was going to be a addition, a slight change to the Buzz City uniforms that they wore last season, the black uniforms. Obviously going to be sleeveless because Nike is not doing sleeve jerseys. That seems to be somewhat of a confirmation of that. But then the big news, or the news that we didn't speculate at all on, is that there will be some white pinstripe throwbacks for next year. Asked the team for comment. They have not responded. But there you go. That's some information for us.
Yeah, very exciting. I thought was it just the black uniforms had been kind of agreed upon out in the ethos that they were coming back? No official word, but that's kind of what we had guessed. We had figured.
Yes, the Buzz City Knights, I mean, those were popular uniforms last season. Didn't think that they were going to get rid of those necessarily, but again, no official word from the team. But the white pinstripes, David, I got a picture of those too. There's the picture of those with Bogues, Johnson, Curry, and Alonzo Mourning. But, I guess, so there's a couple of things. It's nice to see that the throwback uniforms are going to continue to be sort of put out there one at a time, extending the throwback excitement from fans. But I guess I got to wait another year before I can get what I really want, which are the purple pins. I mean, to me, the purple pins are the best. The alternate pins, love these uniforms. I want the purple pins right now.
Steve,
Yes.
color tag right now.
Color tag. I like the whites. I don't know. I don't
That's going to be a good drop.
Yeah. Well, all right. Yeah.
I
I don't
the
know.
whites too.
I can't. I don't understand why they can't. Drop all three at once. But it took them. There's the rollout of just the one seemed to be a little biffed. So I don't know. I guess we should be happy with just getting the one.
Well, we're going to get the whites next year, and then hopefully the purples will come out next season. I just think the 90s were just such an amazing time for NBA uniforms. Right? I mean, to me, that's the generation. That's when NBA jerseys peaked in my mind. When all of these designers decided they didn't care anymore, and they just went crazy 90s cartoon, the Toronto Raptors jersey, the Pistons, like the night piece for the Pistons. Love these, the Atlanta Hawks jerseys with the hawk that was like holding the basketball. David's shaking his head right now.
I didn't like a lot of those cartoonish uniforms. Pistons was horrible.
You didn't like the purple pinstripes.
I mean, if I have to choose a pinstripe, I'm going to choose the white or the teal.
Yeah, I mean, and to that point, the Hornets are actually kind of bucking that trend there. They were one of the teams that went with a pretty clean, classic look, no cartoonish features. That they had the cool court. They had the cool court with the honeycomb and the big buzzy Hornet. But yeah, I mean that's like a nostalgia thing, right? It's like it's like liking 70s James Bonds, like the Roger Moore era. It's very kitschy. It's not necessarily the best, but
love the kitsch. You know what?
It stands out a lot.
NBA is entertainment, and there's nothing wrong with kitsch and entertainment. This is not serious. We don't have to be. This is not Kanye West and his opinions on fashion. He's super serious about his fashion. We don't have to be serious when it comes to our NBA uniforms. But here's my top three. Top three uniforms for me. The black Philadelphia 76ers uniforms that Iverson wore in the 90s. Love that alternate. I'm a big fan of alternates. I love the purple pinstripes. That's definitely on my top three. And then the Pistol Pete neon green Atlanta Hawks jerseys from back in the day. Loved those. I love the weird jerseys, man. Quote on the chat saying teal his favorite. The purple pins were amazing. They stood out.
I feel like this is your
teal's been
fringe
overdone.
Opinion corner.
Yeah.
With your garish. I mean, well, I did listen to the opening of the show the other day, and you were talking about your fashion blindness. So this is actually tying in pretty well. You're like,
maybe that's it.
You're like,
I just have no idea.
I don't know what anything looks like, but I do know that those Pistol Pete jerseys are hot. That's objectively ugly. That's an ugly jersey there. That one belongs with the tropics from that. The
Flint.
Yeah, the Will Ferrell movie.
It's bold. It's beautiful. Atlanta Hawks teal Pistol Pete jersey.
I saw somebody rocking a Sharif Abdur-Rahim version of one of those the other day, and I had to give props to that. I loved that
Hoopsters. Hoopsters, gotta love it.
Yeah.
It's a popular one amongst the NBA hipsters.
Hey, real quick, as long as we've gone this far off, the hoods, right, guys? Everyone's wearing these hoods on the bench now. Like
we're wearing them right now.
I've got a hot take for you. I think I might prefer the look of the sleeves to these hoods. It's just a weird look. Not that I want to see the sleeves. I'm just not. It's weird to see all these guys with like long, skinny necks, and then the hoods just popped right over.
Yeah, it's like a purpose. It's like that normcore thing that hipsters are doing, where it's like I'm gonna dress like a dad. It's just like it's purposely stupid looking. I think.
Right.
It's the look of like an Olympic speed skater, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the outfit, which I would love to see JaVale McGee, get out there on the ice velodrome or whatever you call those things and just, blade it up. But yeah, I thought I'd try rocking it today, and I made about 2 minutes before I felt like I was gonna die.
It's very hot in this studio. Well, I'm telling you, it's a struggle for me right now.
The Nike version though, or whatever they wear, literally it goes full ET on you, and it's like Dave, you got a little space rocking around there. These guys are like glued to their foreheads. I want to see somebody just run around out there in a game, just full hoodie mellow.
It would be tough. You'd lose your peripheral vision at that point.
That's
probably be easy to get stolen on.
Steve Bob, you tell me, but that's the point of having it so close to the eyes, right? So close to the face, you still have your peripheral.
That's one theory. That's one way to play it. I think the other way to give another Star Wars tie-in, it's like Luke with the blinders on, man. It's like when it comes down to hoops, maybe the lights are going to go out. You got to know how to hit buckets with no eyes.
I would have liked to have been a Jedi, but yeah, whatever.
Exactly. This is Locked On Hornets.
And would I have liked to see a few more shards? Shards? No, I would not have.
That's awesome shards.
Only on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right, we're here with you on a Friday, hashtag Fun Friday. Talked a little fashion, talked a little Hornets, got a little heated. Nothing wrong with a little debate. You okay, Steve Bob?
I'm good. I would love to talk about those topics anytime you want. Look, hold on. Let's get just briefly back into it because I just want to know why nobody in Charlotte will everybody just wants to be friends with the team, and it's like I watched this team my entire life. I just want to see it go one way or the other. And I think
you're ready for
the problem is Steve, honestly, with your, because you mentioned this in your take that you would give up 5 years of Hornets basketball to watch one game of Kemba Walker scoring 70, and I think that's very. The people that want to see this team blown up, I always question, would you watch a single game of a tank season?
I'm struggling to watch these games. That's the thing.
Would you watch a single game of a season in which they went 7-59?
I would watch.
I would doubt that a lot of people would watch one single game and they would justify it by saying, "Well, the team's terrible." Well, you wanted them to be terrible.
Well, here's the thing. The hot take that I mentioned. Yes, obviously, I don't want to give up 5 years of basketball, but I would rather watch the team going in a direction. I just don't know. We've never had a direction, and the problem is when it becomes clear that from NBA experts that cover every team that are these guys are no insiders, and they're they just want to be okay. MJ's cool with if they can make the playoffs or be right around there, that's all they want to do, which is fine from a business perspective, but it kind of stinks as a fan knowing that. And I know the NBA is it's hard to be competitive right now, but I would rather see us those years where we were really bad, and the Bobcats years, and you're just we got some Adam Morrisons, we didn't get lucky, but it's these days there's so many good guys out there. I just want to see I'd rather watch Malik Monk play. That's kind of what it comes down to. Than us try to win, and stay close to 500. That's me.
I'll say this. I'm getting closer to that point of being tired of the current direction, just because it's year after year repetitive, the same thing over and over again. But you mentioned that, Steve. The Bobcats years, they did go that route. And it did not work. So I think they were scarred a little bit by that. And the business side of it, sure, I think they have to put a competitive product out on the court here in Charlotte. that is the selling line, I think. But it does make sense. You see how fast people do lose interest around here.
People were booing. People were booing at the Warriors game on national TV, and Hubie Brown had to he's just oh, they're booing, and we get on national TV twice a year, and that's what people see. It's already it's a tough place to be in because we don't have marketable guys. Kemba's a quiet star. He's not a superstar, you know?
Right.
Well, I don't think it matters if you have marketable guys if you're not winning basketball games.
If we had Giannis and we won 10 games, people would watch.
I think the team I can't argue that the direction is not going the way that the team wanted to, but I won't argue that they had a direction. They had a goal in mind to put a team together that could win a playoff series. Not necessarily could win a championship, but could win a playoff series and get them to the point where they could win a championship. Now, has that direction gone the way that they wanted it to, that the fans wanted it to? Not so far. And a lot of that has to do with injuries, with players that they've selected or brought in that did not live up to expectations. That's circumstance. That's the way they played the game. But I think they went into it with a definitive strategy, and so far the strategy has not played out the way they wanted it to.
Yeah, I definitely think they did. And the problem I'm realizing with this, Doug, you wanted to do a What We Learned segment. I mean, I've learned that this is who the Hornets are. This is how they were made up, to make up a team that can't withstand a Cody Zeller injury. Steve, you mentioned it last week. It doesn't matter who gets hurt. If one guy gets hurt, that's a main rotation guy, everything goes to hell. And like, if you're designing a team in today's NBA that operates in that fashion, you know there are going to be injuries. Injuries are a part of the game. Every team goes through injuries. Injuries are going to affect your team. So if you've built a team that can't withstand a injury, then you're setting yourself up for failure.
Dave, let me ask you something real quick.
Hit me.
Have the shining moments had an injury before?
Numerous.
Okay, see, there you go.
David has sustained one of those. David has sustained one of those injuries.
You're talking to one. Guess what? 4 championship games in a row. Continued success, sustainability. I mean, that's a lot about culture. That's a lot about.
It's a lot about culture.
Well, how many? So before those 4 championships, though, the moments they just lost year after year, right? They sustained. They went through the process, right?
Well, the first iteration of the Moments, I think, did lay the foundation for the current Moments franchise, which has just been a picture of success. And it's been, I mean, kind of like LeBron. I'd say they're sustained, going to the finals. They finally got over the hill. We finally got that championship. And but that's what you have to build. You have to keep scouting. You know, I'm on the streets of Charlotte. I'm at the Y. You don't see me there, Steve, but I'm up in the rafters. I'm looking for players.
You're kind of a phantom of the YMCA.
I always have the hood on. That's why.
But look, they invested in this strategy, and at this point, for all the people that would want to see this team completely blown up, it's not necessarily possible to do that. They can't move players. They're stuck in these contracts with players that aren't necessarily players that are going to get any value back for those deals. And it's a very difficult situation that the Hornets are in, and the best that they can do at this point is continue to try to win basketball games, and I think that's part of why you haven't seen Malik Monk in games, because of his defense and what that does to the team and their ability to win in the 15 or 16 minutes that he's on the floor. But at the same time, it's becoming harder and harder. I will agree, it's becoming harder and harder to justify, with the offense playing the way it is, not having Malik Monk out there and his ability to shoot three-point shots.
And to be clear, I don't disagree with any of that, and I don't expect them to do anything differently than they ever have. That's where my frustration comes from. It's just that's the bottom line. It's like they are kind of stuck with what they got. They're kind of built to be an okay team when everyone's healthy, and then like that's what you got. The only thing I would say is
we've talked about injuries and tanking. This has been an anti. If I could reverse the air horn, I would do it.
The team's bad right now.
Anti-Fun Friday.
You got to keep it real.
Were you thinking like changes, or from anywhere, from like front office, lineup, like you're talking anything? Because I think,
dude, if you want to get like really into it, I would. It's like it's the same thing with how a business is run. It comes from the top. It's the same reason the Knicks have been terrible forever, and they always will be. They lucked into Porzingis, but they've almost screwed that up several times too. And dude, I lived up there for so long. Everyone's a Knicks fan up there. And it is depressing. Like they're happy now. People are really happy about Porzingis, and they're sure that it's not going to work out somehow with him. Because if your ownership doesn't, whatever their philosophy is, that's how the team's going to go. You know, that's the way it is. And there's all these it was really exciting to have Jordan come in and get the team. And he was like, obviously for obvious reasons, he's a great addition to the NBA ownership demographic. But now since then, there's been all the tech guys coming in, and those are the ones where you see like the Bucks have like a cool strategy, the Warriors have a strategy, stuff like that. I just think, you know, we're an old school team.
All right, quote saying, game preview, please. Hates the tank topics. Game preview, they've got a game tonight against the Chicago Bulls, trying to get some vengeance for a November 7th loss, 123-120 in Chicago. In that game, you'll remember Chris Dunn and Justin Holiday. I think they combined for 49 points. And when Justin Holiday plays well, the Bulls have gotten 3 wins, and the rest of the time they have lost. They're losers of 10 straight coming in to this game against Charlotte. So this is a must-win. Have to beat the Bulls, continue their losing streak, because you need to rack up these home wins as you try to put things back together again and prepare for a second half of their schedule, which does ease up quite a bit. And then again on Saturday night, Star Wars night in Spectrum Center. Get your Frank Kaminsky bobbleheads, get into the Spectrum Center and support the team because they're going to need it. Brandon Ingram playing really well right now. And got the winning bucket against
great game.
Philadelphia 76ers. Fantastic game to watch. A lot of young talent there in that game. So, yeah.
Sorry for all the tank talk, but I'm even sorrier that to get off that we have to game preview the tankingest team in the league.
Chicago, yeah.
So, I mean, hey, that's what we need. We need to see a team like that. That's going to be good for us tonight. But, you know, to my point a little bit, like Lauri Markkanen has been surprisingly fun to watch for them. You just look at little things like if your team sucks, well, maybe this is your future guy. And I don't think Monk couldn't be doing – like if Monk was on the Bulls, he'd be getting burned and he'd probably be putting up at least scoring-wise numbers similar to Markkanen's, I would imagine.
And I think a lot will be seen about Devin Booker. And will he be able to – be an anchor of a team that actually has really good talent around him? You know, I think that's always going to be a question with these rookies who get a ton of burn, a ton of time, a ton of shots on bad teams.
But once
you start to put the pieces around, can they do the things that are necessary to win basketball games, win tough basketball games?
But part of it is also just about having assets, and he's a like how high of an asset do you think he is in the league right now? Like they won't trade him for anything. Like, and teams would do a lot. Like there's a shortage of shooters in the league right now. There's not enough shooters on every team. Obviously, we have that problem. So like he's valuable. We don't have any valuable assets right now either. That's part of it for me too. Obviously, I agree with your point about who knows. I don't think he's a cornerstone of a franchise, but you never know.
Yeah, Jason pointing out that you do never know. He says, I don't think people understand what tanking is. No guarantees. Plus, the folks who are asking for it are not going to go to the game. So yeah, that's definitely my big point as well. All right, we've talked for a long time. This has been a great fun Friday. We've no reason we can't debate each other.
I feel great. I mean, look, guys, honestly, it just feels good to get some of that out. You know?
Yeah. This was a cleansing Friday. This was a cathartic Friday.
Yeah.
And make sure you're following us on Instagram at Locked On Hornets. Follow us there. Like the post that's going up right after the show. You can get a chance to win 2 tickets to this game on Saturday against the Los Angeles Lakers, or you'll get one of those Frank bobbleheads. All right, thanks so much for listening to Locked On Hornets. Follow us on Twitter as well at Locked On Hornets. Shoot us your Hornets questions and thoughts to buzz at LockedOnHornets.com. We're back again next week with much more analysis of your Charlotte Hornets. For David and Steve, I'm Doug. Go Hornets. Go America. Let's swarm Charlotte.
This one's for all the Dougaholics, the Locked On Hornets podcast. What up next? And please subscribe, rate, and review, or join our Patreon page. But I don't know what to do with those tossed LaCroix and scrambled LaCroix. Let's drink a LaCroix. Good night, Buzz City. We love you.